Welcome to League is Life.
I'm your host, Captain Cody.
And your heart and soul for Demacia, Josh.
And today we're going to be talking about Season 8, specifically Patch 8.1 that has just came out for the season that's going to come up on Monday, the 16th, 2018. And Josh, what are we going to talk about today in the patch?
We're going to talk about grinding through silver. No, we're going to talk about the ridiculous changes in this patch notes. Some positive, most non-existent, but the patch notes nonetheless. Start us off.
Right, so let's start off with Brand. Obviously, everyone loves Brand. He's powerful, he has AoE, he has stun, but now they're making his passive twice as strong. So it's supposed to be 4% of the target's maximum health per stack. Up to 3 stacks, that's 12%. That's crazy.
No. It's not Brand, he's powerful, he's strong. He's powerful, he's powerful, he's powerful. The only thing that's changing with this one change is his percentage of pentakills. Because it's just going to bounce off. They literally gave him a 100% increase on his passive from 2 to 4. No one has ever said Brand does not do enough damage.
Yeah, no, and it's like, because they're upping his passive, which is just when his ability lands, it's literally, you don't have to play him any better, you don't do anything different with him. If your ability hits, you're doing more damage.
Exactly. Honestly, I think it's ridiculous because, and the reason for it was apparently he built, what was it, like Deathfire Grasp in the past, so they wanted to give him something to compensate. A lot of champs, like main, like mechanics or build, has changed just with like the new rune changes. Like I don't see why Brand is so special, especially when he does percentage of health damage, and he is considered a carry support. Like that's ridiculous.
Right. And it's like crazy because this is the type of thing where you have a percentage of your max health that will scale as the game goes on. So if you have like a tank that has 3,000 HP, right, you can do up to 340 damage extra with just your passive alone over time.
Yeah.
And it's insane. But anyways, enough about Brand. We move on to the next one. We have Graves. Now, he has not been like buffed too much, but he definitely has changed in his smoke screen. So it's going to be a 50% slow throughout all the durations, but the slow is only 0.5 seconds. Do you think that's a buff or a nerf?
I really don't think it's either, because usually when they change an effect to around like 0.5, it's really like it's effect that you obviously have to play around, but its main effect now is going to be that blind, which gives you that complete darkness. I don't think and like the cast time on it is not really enough for you to really catch up to someone. So it'd just be like a nice like AoE quality of life change.
Right. Well, how I think about that is the slow definitely helps, right? Because they're going to be slowed way more. So it's going to help Graves land his other abilities better, like his other skill shots. But in terms of like what you said, if we're going to be using it for the blind, it's going to be weaker in that sense because when he has that AoE blind, it definitely helps the team during team fights to do that. Yeah. So that's going to be weakened in that perspective, you know? But it says here in the patch notes that because he has an unreliable early game and his burst damage is high enough that it doesn't need an increase, they made small changes to make him more room to shine early. And this is like another champion where I think a lot of people in the comment section are going off that he's already strong. Why are they making him stronger in the early game?
Because he doesn't have a cigar, so they gotta buff that smoke screen.
Right, and let's move on to a classic one. Skarner. He doesn't get a lot of love. You know, he's like an ugly scorpion, but it seems that he's been weak in the preseason based upon these notes. So they want to buff up his damage, crowd control, and mana. So his E, his fracture, is going to do pretty much double the damage, and his base mana is going to increase. As a person who's played Skarner for a bit, also, he has a 0.5% more second stun. And as a person who has played Skarner a few times in the past, do you think this will help him tremendously or not?
Like, honestly, I tried to play Skarner, never really got him off the ground. Like, it definitely wasn't carrying any games. I'm pretty sure Skarner has more stuns than I have wins with him, but I think like the stun's going from 1 to 1.5, which is a huge stun. As far as I think it's 1.5 on all levels, right? So
Yep.
that's crazy for early ganks, right? And you could see a big changes with play rates, definitely in the earlier ranks, because anything that has hard CC, especially for rounded to 2 seconds, is going to give those like lower elo players like a huge advantage.
Yeah, and I think his it helps him out a bit because his ultimate, where he's pretty much, I think that's his ultimate, right? He drags somebody back to his team pretty much, like a Scorpion.
He could CC someone for like 3 seconds.
Right. Yeah, and I think that helps him because it seems like a lot with this, after this patch has been introduced, after season 7 ended, there's a lot of more defensive options for people to have, or like to reduce CC with the ruins. So I feel like that might help out his gameplay. I mean, we gotta see when the season starts.
Now that you can get like 25, you can get a ridiculous amount of tenacity for nothing. So maybe the 1.5 won't be that crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, since it's going to be relative, it is going to be, because not a lot of people have a 1.5 second stun.
Yeah.
Right?
But also, who really builds like tenacity though? Like with the ruin things, not that many people.
If you're going into a lot of CC, well, I'm not even going to tell you about how to set up your rune page. Just go to op.gg. All right.
Let's go with the last one, or possibly one of the last ones. Heimerdinger. This is probably the biggest change in this patch that people are freaking out about, at least. And it's, they cut down his ultimate by half. People complaining because people don't even play that much. He's like floating at like a slightly above 50% win rate. And for, you know, all the fanboys like Heimerdinger, like they're saying, oh man, like we want to play this off meta champion. Why are you making him weak? But then the other side is also going, look, with this broken stopwatch, all he has to do is just throw his ulti, throw a stopwatch, no outplay, boom, you're dead, because you're receiving like 200 damage to the face.
Yeah, you can't go in and out. Doesn't his ult have a slow too? Or they just build Rileys? Because you can't escape. It's either, if you fully engage, you're pretty much gonna get hit with his ult several times. There's no real, like you said, there's no real counterplay to that. Yes, Heimerdinger is like he's like a stage control champion, right? So like he is strong in like that effect, right? Because you know, he can set up areas like early, and Heimerdinger can do work. Like I have seen Heimerdingers do work, but this is way too much of a nerf. Way too much. Like cutting. All right, so we doubled Bran, right? But then now we're cutting Heimerdinger's ult in half, and like that's something that you can or cannot like outplay a little bit. Like broken stopwatch, you can only use once, right? Especially with the use of like the way that we see like assassins, right? Someone like Zoe in and out on him, right? I mean that's one champion. Zoe has her own problems, right? I think we should have saw a much bigger nerf on, actually not much bigger. I think that we should have seen some type of changes to Zoe.
Right.
They did change her. I think her biggest change is her E, right? So now I think it takes like 0.8 seconds to proc the stun. I don't know how long the stun is in total. We were talking about stun timing before. It has
like
to
2
be
seconds.
It has to be at least 1.5.
Or because my champion be sleeping out there. He'd be sleeping. I'm seeing Z's coming out.
It's ridiculous.
Or we're getting smacked.
Literally, people are sleeping on Zoe. Like it's insane. But like I think it'll help because in that 0.8 seconds, you can then like move back into your team. And then, or it'll give you time for like, you know, like a Caitlyn ult, someone to walk in front of you. So I think that is a good like quality of life because it's really single target damage. So it's not that crazy, but as an assassin, like, I have seen things where like Zoe support like goes let's say 1-7, but by 35 minutes she's still one-shotting people. So yeah, Zoe's an interesting champion for one.
Yeah. So let's go back to Heimerdinger real quick. Like, what I want to say about that is they are nerfing him, and I don't personally feel that his ulti is broken, if broken at all, because this is how I generally think about it, like as a very high level point of view. When you win Champ Select, right, you're not going to, I gotta ban Heimerdinger, or when you see you're going ahead as a Heimerdinger, you're like, oh no, my day's ruined. It's not like you go in top lane as Garen and your opponent pulls out the most popular champion against him, Teemo. You know, it's not like that type of feeling that you get. You're like, oh, Heimerdinger, it might be annoying, but let me just get some items and this lane will be all good.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. Can we talk about bans in Champ Select? Out of all the people that they're going to nerf heavy, Miss Fortune is chunking people with her Qs. 50%, can't trade back at all phases of the game, right? She's ending games in 20 minutes. Surrender at 15. Not a single change to her. Not a single change. Her win rates are crazy at all elos.
What is her win rate?
I'm not actually sure. We'll definitely throw that up for purposes, but the Miss Fortune is crazy. I've seen plenty of videos about her win rate. Definitely best in the bot lane. Can be played as support. She's definitely one of the highest ban rates right now.
Well, she's at 1.25% ban rate. Her win rate is 51%, so it's above average, and play rate is 8.19, which is pretty high as of right now, according to Champion GG.
Champion GG? Who uses that?
I don't know, man. This is the first thing I came on Google, so it is what it is. But let's just take those numbers.
That's like watching Is Life to get your league stats. Oh man,
that's what I would use to get it. But yeah, I mean, you got anything else to talk about, Josh?
Last thing I wanted to talk about is the resolve changes. So as someone who likes to play tanky champions, it actually gives a little bit of depth into your play, right? So, like if you want to, like fighters, like the best part is you can build them with damage, you can build them with tank, right? But like, as a lot of people have been complaining, fighters haven't gotten enough love, like with the new rune changes, right? Sure. You can build them in a lot of different ways because of the rune changes, but that's all determined in like Champ Select. You can't do it mid-game. Now, if you, with these resolve changes, you get a little bit of stat bonus as far as like ADAP, along with HP. So like that will definitely help early game. So you're not like really pigeonholed into going tank early, and then just hoping your CC prevails. I'm hoping that these changes help with like, I don't know what it is with these AP Malphites. I don't know what it is. No one is building tank with Malphite. Like, they are allergic to it. It's ridiculous. But like, hopefully we get to see something like, I think it's actually going to be strong with like AP tanks. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I kind of don't like these type of things because I feel like playing this preseason a bit, a lot of traditional tanks are not going full tank anymore. Like, you don't have that super tanky top laner. A lot of people are going like that kind of bruiser, if not that really the split pusher type of champions. Yeah. I've been seeing that a lot. Just
outside of Ornn.
Yeah, outside of Ornn.
Yeah.
But I see like a lot of people, they build in like damage. So everything's damage related, and I don't know if that's just how like solo queues played. You know, a lot of people, they want the kills, they want to be the character.
Also, it's preseason, right? So, shying away from like meta, shying away from like what's really going to assist your team better. Yeah, like you're gonna see a lot more crazy builds in preseason. Hopefully, when we start on the 16th, your boy can really get through these placements. But yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully, we get to see some like tanky champions. Like, we're gonna throw up a list of like all the like the nerfs that I was expecting to see. Let's just if we could just name them real quick. I think Misfortune, Gangplank,
For sure.
Klepto,
Orn.
Orn needs some changes. Like he just needs some like quality of life because he's like way tanky. Like I'm talking, you could build lethality and he still outlast you 100%. And then who else? Leona.
Yep.
Leona's like Leona could like 1v1 a ribbon and she's like down by 2 levels. Like it doesn't make any sense. She's just like ridiculously tanky at this point. Which makes me believe some of these, like the way they did this rune system, some champions just synergize far too well. So I was expecting to see either changes to like just the overall rune system, or at least seeing some toning down of like these champions that are obviously like the skill cap on Leona is not that high for her to just be like rolling your face across the keyboard and just getting killed.
All right, well, we pretty much went through what we wanted to go through in this patch 8.1, but let's just close out with, what do you think the new meta will be when the season starts in a couple days?
I'm gonna see a lot of people like to just get their stuff right out by the book, like off the tier list. So we're gonna see a lot of Gangplanks. We're gonna see a lot of Alawis. We're gonna see a lot of Yoriks.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Alawi.
Maui out. All right. I think, and then as far as bot, like I think we're just gonna still see Misfortune, Easy,
Easy,
anyone with Klepto really. So
Vayne,
yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that we're gonna have a lot of people starting off the season with what was good in preseason and what also ended the season well in season 7, because we're gonna have all those players who just don't play during preseason or whatever, and then come back when the season starts, and we're gonna see a lot of, you know, like the Rivens that didn't really get picked, but you know, the Yasuos, like the classical Yasuos. I hope Ivern gets picked more because people be sleeping on him when he's a very strong jump. Sleeping on him.
I mean, I was just saying back in the tier list, but like he belongs in E tier for a reason. He's just not the same Ivern that he was last season.
Why do you say that?
The shields aren't as juicy. Like they nerfed all his build down.
All right. Well, we will see this season. Yeah, but I think the classical favorites they'll be making a stronger comeback, and obviously whatever the pros play, I think because they've been getting more and more notoriety, you're gonna see a lot more players trying to copy those type of builds, trying to experiment with what they're doing. But you know, we'll see when the season starts in a couple of days.
We'll see.
All right. But that was the end of this video. Thank you guys. This is Captain Cody signing off from the Rift.
Heart and soul for Demacia, Josh. We'll see you. Like, subscribe, share.